Belgium to ban the burqa. Canada's burqa ban in Quebec. France's proposed ban on the burqa recently judged unconstitutional by an advisory board. What is the big fuss on burqas? Well, this question was proposed by Tariq Ramadan to his guest this past week on the program Islam and Life. Reality Check followed that with a documentary, Born Again, where it portrayed how some women had converted to Islam and their adaptability into society.
Over the last 20 years, controversy has mounted over the place of the hijab in Europe. The issue was kick-started in France in 1989 with the expulsion of 3 young Moroccan girls from a grammar school in a Parisian suburb for refusing to remove their headscarves in class. A media storm ensued. In the atmosphere following 9/11, Islam increasingly became an object of political debate and was often viewed with suspicion as an alien entity. 6 years ago, on March 14th, 2004, the French Legislative Council voted to ban religious symbols in public schools. In effect, the law mainly targeted young Muslim girls. The law received wide support in France. Several other European countries have since followed the French lead. And in the UK, Belgium, Germany and Italy, as well as many other countries, Muslims wearing hijab have become subject to high levels of political scrutiny and media controversy throughout Europe. With the seemingly disproportionate amount of political and media attention surrounding an item of clothing, the question arises, are European societies taking issue with the hijab itself, or is the growing visibility of Muslims in Europe the real problem?
I'd start off by saying that, first of all, in Britain, it hasn't always been easy. It's not perfect now. It's definitely much better. Usually, the way Muslims present it, it starts off with the form. I don't even like calling it hijab, the Islamic dress code, you know. It's about covering your beauty, and it's about not only showing your beauty in front of your husband. So the very sort of parochial sort of line of arguments Muslims usually give on this discussion, to the Westerner or to the European person, sets off fireworks.
My name is Fatima. My previous name was Julia. I was born in Australia, Sydney. During my last 2 years at school, I was studying studies of religion, which you learn about different types, different religions as well as sects. And my last year, I chose to do Islam, not because of anything. It just happened to be. I wanted to learn about Islam. Like I said, I finished school and I met a few people, and I started my journey, a lot of reading, a lot of research, and I kept this very quiet from my family, because I can't even tell you, just to even question my faith was just a very big deal.
The New Year Nowruz festivities are still being celebrated in Iran and other parts of the world for that matter. Saman Kujuri from the program Iran took a look at Kurds and their Nowruz customs.
Like other parts of Iran, Kurds observe the tradition of Hafsin, which includes 7 specific items, starting with the letter S, or Sin in the Persian alphabet. The items symbolically correspond to 7 creations, the 7 elements of life, namely fire, earth, water, air, plants, animals, and human, are represented. Members of families sit together and enjoy happy moments of the turn of the year. One of the most interesting ceremonies in Kurdistan, which takes place on the first day of the new year, is Kusegardi, or moving shark around. In this ceremony, a person is dressed ridiculously in a loosely fit garment, usually in white. A long hat is put on his head with two horns. Then he goes around the city on a horse or donkey, moving from one house to another, which causes people to laugh and enjoy.
Kurds are so hospitable, nice, and warm, and we can say kind with their guests, especially they accept guests very warmly and kindly. Kurdish culture is to mercy and forgive other people, to say, okay, if I start my New Year with forgiveness, with mercy, with being kind with other people, so it will go through my whole year and I will have a very good New Year.
Time for the weekly look at the website presstv.ir, and since it's the end of the month, we'll take a look at the most popular entries first.
First came the entry, Mexican police chief beheaded in northern town. Then a report that has revealed Saudis may allow Israel use of airspace. And finally, rounding the top three, Ahmadinejad, Iran's president, who said even war cannot save Israel. Taking a look at some of the emails, first one came from Amir in Pakistan, in which he stated, "I appreciate the reportage on the Egypt, Gaza, Viva Palestina story. What I loved more was at the conclusion of part 3, the host made an understatement against allegations by Western media. For me, that stole the show. Thank you for being amazing. Looking forward to your next show." And moving on to Vicky from the UK, she wrote in and said, "Happy New Year. Thanks for Reality Check. I would be lost on Sunday morning without this program."
That was the SMS number and website. Please keep sending your comments. There's also the standard way of sending in your comments. That's our email, realitycheck@presstv.ir. Also, don't forget, for Reality Check repeats, along with repeats of the rest of the programs, you have a choice between presstv.ir or Press TV Global News on YouTube for an expanded coverage of all the programs. Well, until next week, it's goodbye from me, Kabatach Wai. But before I go, a humorous look at how popular, or should I say unpopular, France's Nicolas Sarkozy has become in France, in which this past week, regional elections recently forced him to a cabinet reshuffle.
Marching through the streets of Paris, French people have held one of their biggest protests. They are out to say no to President Nicolas Sarkozy's policies.